Hey, Rich, how's it going, man? It's been a while since I've seen you. Like, what, a week?
Brother, it's been like a week. We had Thanksgiving in between, but otherwise we spent more time together than I did with my family during Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Isn't that funny?
wow.
Not that I don't love my family. I love them to death. It's just I realized your trip was actually kind of like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We actually
Yeah.
had a long time together if you think about it.
Oh, yeah, it was a good several days. It was great. Totally enjoyed the trip by far. So, I came down there originally for BGGCon.
Oh yeah, that went really well, didn't it? Well, that
It
went
did.
well. It did go well because you know what? I am going to say before we talk about wrapping up, the high point for me was check-in went so well.
Oh,
The
yeah.
random games went so well. The
Mhm.
staff we were interacting with were just awesome people. I mean, and remember when we were trying to find that room and there was just the guy that was on the rubber mat and he was like, "Hey,
Right.
guy, we're trying to find this," and he's like, "Well, I'm going to take care of you." And made sure we found what we were doing. So great event staff. That's how I'll start this off.
Oh,
But
definitely.
tell the listeners how long we spent there.
I think I did the math afterwards. We came for this, 5-day convention. I think it was five because we checked in on Wednesday when I got off the plane, and I think we spent an entirety of maybe 6 hours there. So we did a lot of other stuff
We
as
did.
well on this trip,
Yes,
and just
and very much fun. Everything we did was a great time. We had so much. It was like a crazy boys weekend
oh
with
yeah,
trips downtown occasionally to visit the con and then go do other things.
oh it was great. Yeah, it's saw your significant other for like one night, and I think she just stayed away from us. I don't know what happened.
Oh, I think she had her life going on. We definitely, just like my daughter came into town, and
Hmm.
that was another night. So one night Sarah was
Yeah.
there. The next night Cassidy was there. And Cassidy unbelievably knows you extremely well from online, extremely well from talking. She's never met you in person since she was what, 1 year old?
Less than, I believe.
Yeah, like months old. And then
Yeah.
we've always been remote friends that get together and do things. And
Yes.
this was one of the first times she was so excited. She was like, I've got to come down and meet Ryan. So she came down from school and we all went to a comedy show. Oh, we went to a comedy show. What were some of the other fun things we did besides go to BGGCon?
Right. Oh man, we did a comedy show. We did an arcade. I was really happy to like meet her in a bigger form than the last time I saw her. Saw her a
Yes.
little bit online as well, so it was awesome. I glad she came down and it was really cool. That was good to see her. But let's see what else we did. Comedy club. We did the arcade right beside the comedy club. We went to the vintage arcade museum.
Oh, that's right. We went to VCF. Or no, not
Yeah,
VCF. I'm sorry. The National Video Game Museum in
in
Frisco.
Vienna. For those, I mean, this makes great podcast. Me holding up a little token that I didn't spend in one of their video games, but yeah, I took those back as my souvenir. They gave us four of them as we went in there.
Yes.
It was great, awesome. I was very happy. I saw they had two Amiga CD32 consoles in their
Unbelievable.
collection of consoles. I was like, yes, great. For the little known Amiga part of me that's in there, it's really a Amiga 1200 in a with a CD-ROM. There's so many other things like an early Pong, and I smoked you in it. That was great.
I hate you.
I didn't really smoke you. I beat you by just a little bit to be even reality.
Not only was it was like a huge pong, like the
Yeah.
pong wheel had to be like 8 to 10 inches in diameter, and the screen was like a rear projection screen that had to be.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm going to go with a 16:9 ratio in my head, but it had to be 110 inches diagonal. Now it was 4:3; it was in the proper format,
Right.
but it was huge.
Yeah, it was great. I had a really good time there. I'm glad we made it to that. That was super important. Let's see. We went to the zoo. Yeah, I know we've kind of blown off our schedule, but we did make it to the zoo. We saw the little baby elephant. That was big on my list.
Oh, and this was huge, everyone. that we got to the zoo. They Ryan, big zoo guy, goes to quite a few zoos in his area. I hadn't been to the Dallas Zoo in years. I want to say like 10 years. And so I was up for it because I hadn't been there in a while. So we got down there. We get over to the elephant where there's this new baby elephant, like 8 months old, right? And
I think so.
The note said, meet the keeper at 11 a.m. or 1:30. And it was around 11:10. And Ryan's like, oh, we might need to stay till 1:30. And I'm like, cool, bro. We'll stay here, hang out, meet the keeper. We walk into the exhibit area. Ryan's like, yeah, we just missed meet the keeper. And the lady goes, well, I'm the keeper. Do you have any questions?
It was great. So one-on-one.
You chatted with her for at least 40 minutes, Ryan.
Was it that long? I was gonna go with a half an hour, but I know it was a long time, and we were comparing and showing her pictures I had on my phone from our local zoo here in DC, because we just got 2 new elephants here, and then talking about her elephants that they had there, and just seeing it was great. Got some nice little video of his name's Oki. I think she said he weighs about 800 pounds now. It was like 290, I think, when he was born, in that range. So he's grown up. He's gonna be a big boy.
He was cute as all get out. I'm telling you, him trouncing around. The only thing that made me a little sad was Sunday they were going to open the divider between the elephants and the other Sahara type, or
it's a safari thing, like the zebras.
Yeah, zebras.
A couple giraffes and some other bird thing, which I didn't
thing, and there was some ground fowl. And she said the last time they opened the gate with them, the little elephant didn't like all the noise the ground fowl were making and was trumpeting after them, like barking at them. And I was like, oh, I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah, that was really cool. That would have been great, because that's neat that they actually open them up and let them go together like that. So it's pretty sweet. The zoo was amazing. We had a good time. We walked around. The giraffes were really cool. Walking across the bridge, and we got to look down on the giraffes. And giraffes are not small, people.
No,
they're huge. And one of them was they were fixing the bridge. So the one giraffe was a little more, was not afraid of people. Let's put it that way. So they had to build this extender off that bridge. And so the giraffe couldn't get too close. Otherwise, they said he'd walk up to the people and like take their sunglasses off and their hat. Like, these are mine, bro.
And they're gone. They're gone until the end of the day, because they don't go in there, they said, until after the elephants have gone, or I'm sorry, the giraffes have gone to bed, and then they'll go down in the pen.
Yeah, so I guess he was playing with that barrier and trying to bend the metal away so we could get closer to the thing, and a couple of the keepers were trying to fix it, and they gave up a little bit and said, all right, you won this time, and forget whatever his name was, and then we're going to fix it later that evening.
And the zoo was quite lively. There was like 12 schools at least with their buses there. So we had excited children running around the entire time, running from exhibit to exhibit, going, oh my gosh, it's a giraffe.
Yeah, it was a good outing. We got a good walk in, saw a lot of stuff. I still like the giant tortoise. It was a little chilly. They were like, nah, I'm not going to be outside.
Yeah.
But it was great. I appreciate you taking me. That was a good time. So we did that. That was a really busy day. Like, we just didn't even go to BGGCon that day at all, unfortunately. Good or bad. We went to the zoo. We overslept. We were going to go to their bazaar where people just bring games, and then you can just haggle with them and buy games. And I totally messed up and lost track of time, and we didn't make it down there for the bazaar. So we just was like, let's just go to the zoo. And that's the day we packed in the museum and actually it was the comedy club that night and the arcade. And it was highly entertaining.
Now, we did do a lot of retro stuff that we spent one morning. I picked up a bunch of Mac equipment and Mac software and books. And we spent one morning exploring every one of the boxes. And we went through 12, 14 boxes, right? We
Easy.
really dug through. And I was able to send Ryan home with a few things.
Yes.
From there was some SCSI related devices, which could
Yes.
work within his Amiga world. So
Yes.
we got him packed up because he had extra room in his suitcase. Because tell them about the trip down through TSA.
Why did I have extra? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I had
now you
picked up.
remember.
I do. I picked up a C64 in a box here locally.
Beautiful looking unit. Inside out, so not crusty.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I decided that, I should probably carry this on and not check it. So that's my carry-on luggage. The 64 just fit in my carry-on luggage. It's huge. I was like, oh, this is bigger than I thought. I'm going through TSA. I'm pre-checked. Great, no big deal. We're going through, and I've got my backpack. And next thing I know, the little machine, my carry-on bag just gets shifted to the back and going down this extra little thing. And they're like, yeah, we need to check this. And I'm like, okay. I was just watching this whole unveil. Like, oh, they're going to go look and see what a 64 is. They took it on the little machine and they're running different things through it. By the way, our dear listener, a 40-year-old vintage computer looks a little weird with all the wires coming up through the X-ray and how this big device and big capacitors and stuff in there, it doesn't look like a modern computer. Through all this stuff, draw your own conclusion of what you think it might have looked like. But I saw them cycle through, I don't know, about 6 different views trying to figure out what was actually in there. Very nice lady came to me and said, hey, is anything fragile in there? And I'm like, yes, actually, it's a vintage computer. And she's like, okay. And told her it's an old Commodore 64. Have you ever seen one? She's like, no. She opened it up and got it out. And she's like, can I swab this down? And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever.
I didn't realize she was checking it for explosives too.
Yes.
Wow.
That's what I said. It looked a little suspect on their little scanner.
Yeah.
So they took it out. They pulled the box out of my bag and opened the box, and they're looking in the little thing for the power cords and all that stuff. One of the supervisors, he was just laughing at her, and the lady behind me is like, "Oh, she was laughing too. She had a C64 also at home, so it was just like, oh, haven't seen one of those in a while." So yes, TSA will check. Well, at least they did me. They checked my bag if you put a Commodore 64 inside of it and try to carry it on. They are totally confused.
Good for me to know when I go to Germany here shortly. If I find something to bring back, I better be prepared. But so you've never turned it on. You just brought it.
Oh.
So we went into the shop and we made a quick video kind of going through it. And again, super clean inside, super clean outside.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone or put your bets in. We hooked it up to a new power supply. Do you think it worked or do you think it didn't work? Put your bets in now. 3, 2, 1. Ryan, did it work?
It did. It came up. It came up right away.
Unbelievable.
Like, there it is.
Oh yeah, cartridge port. We at least had a cartridge around. We tested. It came with a cartridge.
Yeah.
So we hooked up an Atari joystick and we played some Centipede. I just really didn't expect that to work, Ryan. I just expected it to be a black screen or the typical no light, but shoot, that's a winner. That thing is a winner.
That was great. I'm glad I could get that to you. And yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful machine. A great story that goes with it too. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, that one needs to stay in the collection forever. That's a forever unit because it has a really neat, fun story behind it. And everything matched. Serial numbers all match with the box. That's really cool too when that happens. And really I think we saw some fading about where it was probably sitting on a desk near a window with the light coming in the window. I mean, it literally was that good a shape.
Yeah, it was great. Beautiful machine.
Now,
what else did we plug in from your house?
Yeah. Now, not as much of a good success story here, folks. Dear listener, I'm sorry to tell you that my Craigslist pet, what was that, a 4032? A pet 4032? Is that right?
Think so. I've got a whole bunch of pictures of it here somewhere.
Yeah, it looked really good inside. It was dusty, but it looked
Yes.
good. Everything looked
Yeah.
really good, and we popped it on. And I have reviewed the video, Ryan, and I saw the screen you're talking about. We
Yep.
turned it on, nothing's happening. We're turning it on, nothing's happening. Ryan's like, dude, you got to wait a little bit. Quit flipping the switch. You got to let the monitor warm up. So then one at a time, we're waiting a while, and I went to turn it off. And when I did, Ryan goes, oh, we had display. And, we're recording, but we're talking. And I said, I'll look at it later. And you were right. It was like a full set of characters on the screen,
Yeah.
top left to the bottom right. It was a
Yep.
full set. So I don't know what all that means, but that makes me feel a little happier,
Yeah. I think there's life in there somewhere. Actually, I'm pretty positive life's in there somewhere. We're just not smart enough yet to get to that life. And that's going to come, though.
Yeah, and it needs to sit there for a while. I got some 64s to play with and learn on, and then the pet will get back to the bench. But I picked that up on Craigslist. Ryan was like, dude, I'm really digging it. And, I said, well, hold on. Next time you're down, we'll work on it together. And that's what we did. We had a good time. We went through it in and out. And unbelievably, I don't know, Ryan, I might have a working pet later, but not right now.
I hope so.
No. Now, Ryan did save my bacon because I have this problem that we need to get back to the one game we liked from BGGCon eventually, because this is going to come. This is bringing back to the story that I like to do things without really reading too quick. I like to do things and go, oh, I want that. And I just buy it. And sure enough, Bill Pelton's a guy who sells on the Commodore 64 Facebook group. Obviously a really good guy. I bought a few things from him, and I picked up a Pi 1541, barely understanding what it was. And then I picked up off Tindy a Wii modem to make my 64C have a virtual disk drive and have my 64C have a virtual modem, that could run over the network. Well, I had them. I didn't know how to use them. So I put Ryan to work, and we sat there with a Apple laptop diagnosing how to use this equipment on a $150 Commodore 64C.
Yep.
We had so much fun. It was literally like I was back in the 80s, Ryan, with my buddies doing something new. It was so crazy.
Yeah, we did figure it out. We finally got it onto your Wi-Fi network. We little issues with the encryption, so we just kind of like put that out in the wind and said, whatever, we're dialing into a BBS, and got the Pi 1541 all working. Learned how to actually use that so we could switch directories and actually load the disks and all that goodness. And found
that was really nice. That was very easy. I know I just downloaded Neuromancer, the C64 game from back in the day, and someone had put it into tape format. 7Z, I think, is the extension, and I'm going to be able to put that on my 1541. I wonder if I can put that on the 1541.
7Z should be a compressed zip. It should open up to a D64.
Okay, I'll take a peek. And that would be great if it does, because then I can play that game really easy, man. And I don't have to mess up any, disk drives or disk heads or anything like that. That was really neat. Thanks for your help on that one. That was really worth sitting down and getting it figured out. And just like the Wii modem, that was a blast.
It was great. We connected to at least one or two BBSs, and then I called it quits there. And I think you did homework about some of these BBSs. What did you find?
Well, if there is anybody listening that wants to do BBS stuff, I found Oasis BBS, and it's like .hopto something, or if you look up Oasis BBS, I think it's running on a C64, and they have Trade Wars. They have Trade Wars running. They have Star Trek running. They have a bunch of the old games that we used to play, like Blackjack, online. And I was checking the message board because I'm trying to see if I'm going to stick around there, right? Trying to see if this is going to be my people. Are these my people? And sure enough, there were some new posts on the messages
Oh,
around Thanksgiving with, hey, everyone, Thanksgiving, hey, Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh, good, we have activity. But it wasn't like there was 100 posts. I'm kind of liking the idea of a small community. You know what I mean?
right,
Of like-minded people just having fun online. So I am exploring the Oasis BBS. I also
okay,
did something I did back in the day without realizing, the commands for the games. They
right,
shortcut. They don't show you the commands every time because they're transmitting data. Um,
right.
I captured those and printed them off, just like I used to do. You'd print off the commands on your printer, so they were just there beside you, and you didn't have to memorize every single little thing. So that was really cool. So I don't know. Maybe I'll tell you more about Oasis in the future. But as of right now, it looks like a good group of people.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear more about your BBSs. Maybe we could do a BBS episode or something
Dude, we
because
got
I have.
a BBS. We need to bring up a BBS.
Yeah, well, I just want to go log into one. I don't want to run one per se.
Yeah, we do. We
You
got
can if you're more than welcome to run one. Uh, but I've been connecting to some on my Amiga as well. So I also have got the term program working, and there's a group of a couple of Amiga users that talk on like Saturday nights, and they do like a chat room and stuff. So I haven't been. They're on and off. I'm usually testing something, and I have some configuration all screwed up, and I'm there for like anywhere from 10 minutes to like a half an hour or an hour, and then something blows up and it's like, yeah, I'm going to bed.
yeah.
But
BBS is the original Discord. That's all I can say.
I remember way back in the day coming home from school and rushing to get on the BBS, local BBS before schoolmates, because I could get my moves in
Yeah.
before the games, before they did, and maybe come out on head. Sometimes that worked well, sometimes not so much, and I got nuked.
I found someone's outpost, but it was really well guarded, so I disengaged. I was like, okay, just note the sector so I can come back to it.
Nice, nice. That's great. That brings back some great memories. So I'm looking forward to playing around with that in the future.
Well, back to the gaming. Uh,
Yeah.
Everyone, I love playing Magic. I love all these games. I'm really bad about reading all my cards. I'm really bad about maybe playing a little too quick. We found a game that is light and fun, but I
Yes.
still ended up screwing myself over a few times. And it was one you actually really wanted to try that we sat down to play, and I can't remember the name of it.
It was Puzzle Strike 2.
That's it, Puzzle Strike 2.
It's from Serlin Games. It's a deck builder crossed with a like a match 3 kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when you do a match 3, you get rid of these gems on your side and you ship them to your opponent to try to make them bust. If you have too many gems in your area at the end, you bust. But if you have some number of gems at the end of your turn, you get benefits. Like you can
Yeah.
draw more cards or do something, or things ship more gems over to your opponent.
Yeah, when the first time we played, I really kept trying to keep my gem meter down. And then
Yes.
I realized watching you, oh no, I do want my gem meter to be about almost halfway because I get all the bonuses of extra draws or extra this, but you've got to be able to set it up to be managed. And then the cards had such great engine capabilities that
Yes.
we both were doing different engines every time. We changed
Uh-huh.
the base character type, which you'd pick a character type and you get 3 cards to add to your deck with that character's flair. And then we all have a generic pool we're pulling from, like all deck builders. And it was funny how my 3 guys could make me do this different type of engine and you would be doing a different engine, but we're all really pulling from the same pool.
Right.
It had a lot of replay value. We must have played that 3 times if we played it once, 4 times,
Yeah.
5 times.
Yeah, I think that is actually the only game we actually played at BGGCon. So we checked it out. I did look at the BGGCon stats of like games that were checked out. So we were not the only ones playing it. It had 4 checkouts for the weekend. And I think we each did it once, and which is so we did half of them. But that means 2 other people checked it out as well. I think it's a really fun game. It's in the lightweight category, but super quick. once you're set up and have all your stuff sorted, us 2 player, we could play in like half an hour.
Yeah. I wish it was
Easy.
one you could bring along to Gen Con. I know it's too big to bring along, but that was it was so easy to play so quickly, especially once you know the rules. Once you know the rules,
Right.
you're just on it.
Yep, we did not play with the magic wand variant that comes with it, but
Not
looks
enough.
amazing. But we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see if I can decompose the box into just cards. Maybe I can get it to Gen Con.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. And I don't know. Maybe even, I wonder if someone's made an app for that where we could just put an iPad down and send gems back and forth. You know what I mean? I wonder if there is. I don't know. Maybe you should write one, Ryan. Maybe you should write one. That could be your next $1 million idea, is an app to go along with Puzzle Strike 2.
Maybe, but it'd be on an Amiga, so I don't know how marketable that is.
GitHub.
Right?
The Amiga Puzzle Quest 2 gem tracker.
Like, what are you doing? It was a really fun time. Really enjoyed that game. So that was great. And then we walked around the dealer hall a little bit. I think we each bought a game there too.
We did. Oh my God. Do you have it in front of you? I can't remember the name of it.
No, mine just shipped today.
Okay, mine's in the game closet. Let me go grab it so I get the name.
Okay.
Tell everybody about it.
It is it's an escape room kind of, but they're based upon the city you're in, and you follow quests in your city. They have stuff in the box. You go around and find things, and it gives you clues, and then you do stuff in the box, and you eventually get to unlock the thing in the center. It's like some cell or some little locked box to get all the clues and be able to go do that. I know you bought the Dallas one
in Deep Ellum, which is kind of our arts, food, music, bar venue area.
Okay, cool.
Friday and Saturday nights is hopping. This would be a great game to go down in the afternoon. And, it's the idea that you were just talking. It's, by the way, a company called Escapely. And this is called Escape the City Dallas, based in Deep Ellum. And from what he said, they even have vendors tied in on this. So you may go in and you have the availability of having a 10% off your meal or something like that inside this little box of clues, but like a real life scavenger hunt. And I think the kids, the girlfriend will have a great time. I think it'll be a lot of fun one afternoon.
Yeah, I bought the Washington, D.C. one. By the time I bought it there, they were sold out of it. So they shipped it to me. I was like, okay, cool. I'll do that. So I bought it there. I just got a shipping notice a couple of days ago as this recording. And I think it's supposed to be here by the end of the week. They shipped out of Las Vegas, I believe.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that might be a great one to play the game at. Going to Vegas and grab that for an afternoon fun time. I wonder if they have it. I'll have to look that up next time I go someplace too. That might be a really fun thing to tie into one of our little trips someplace. But again, that's always what I kind of look for, is things you can do in a space. Like we were going to Salida, Colorado, and we were driving. So it was a 9-hour drive or something like that. And so I queued up a History of Salida podcast. So Sarah and I drove in listening to the history of the town, to where then as we're doing the ghost tour or we're just walking around to get a bite, we're like, oh yeah, look, there's the saloon or the old hotel is still there.
Right.
And we know the stories about the old hotel. So this kind of fits into that idea, that kind of geeky nerd fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And tell us a little bit how you're going to be driving in style to your next destination.
Oh, so last episode, Retro Wheeling, we unveiled the newest addition to the family, which is the 1978 Westfalia Volkswagen bus. We have now passed inspection. I'm not too sure last time we met we had passed inspection, but yes. I had to do a few things. I broke one thing I had to fix. And there was, the back lights were all messed up and I had to get new housings. It passed inspection and we have it all registered. So it's now completely street legal. And we were getting a new windshield. The windshield's coming in at the beginning of the year. So it has a big crack in it. It's not bad. The guy said it'd been there like 20 years. but we're just going to replace it. I'll put a new windshield in. It'll be fine. So yeah, maybe we'll take a little drive up around with our Volkswagen this next year as we go to do some of our adventures. And of course, I'll keep you updated on all the Volkswagen shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing a lot about it. We didn't go for a drive in it when I was there. We just kind of ran out of time.
We
You
did.
you didn't have plates yet either, so that was kind of a thing.
Yeah. But we got them now. But next time you're here, we're going. Maybe I'll drive it to Gen Con. No, not really. Not going to.
That would take you forever.
Oh, at 65 miles an hour? I mean, life was a simpler time when we could only ever go about 65. Ryan, are you ready to play food review?
Oh boy, let's do this.
Okay. The first night took you down into the Richardson area, and we went to 1050 barbecue. And by the way, everyone, what I really liked about what Ryan did, he ordered the same thing everywhere we went. I love that. That's exactly how I judge Tex-Mex restaurants in the area. I always start with beef enchiladas because I've set like a baseline that everyone, I can tell how their beef enchiladas are. But anyways, you stuck to the same meal plan every time. And what was your meal plan? What were you getting everywhere we went?
I got a little bit of brisket. Usually the lean lean brisket is my choice. Some pork ribs and pulled pork. I really like barbecue pork things. This was great. I really liked the 1051.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good way to start off the event. I'm like, oh, this is some great barbecue.
Well, what was the star of the meal? Which one of those? And by the way, he always got fries too. What was the star of the meal on those three proteins?
The star of the meal? I'm just trying to figure out who had the best brisket. Theirs was pretty good. I did like their lean. They had this like a fat strip through the center, just fine. Gave it a good flavor. I don't know. I think I like a little bit of everything. I always like the pulled pork.
Okay,
pulled pork was my go-to.
That was the star. So out of an Amiga rating of 1 Amigas to 5 Amigas, how many Amigas did 1050 barbecue get?
Well, I mean, if I'm rating it when I got there, I would give it. I'm still gonna. I'd probably give it a 4.
At the end of it all. At the end of it all, what rating would you have given it?
I'm gonna use. Nobody went below 3, and
Good.
I'm gonna rate them distinctively so we can rate them in order. Yep. So one's gonna get a 3, one's gonna get a 4, and one's gonna get a 5.
There we go. I like it.
So we're gonna keep it easy, and we can call them 1, 2, 3. I don't really care, but there's gonna be. They were good. They were not. I would go back to all 3 of them any day. No problem.
You would have given it a 3 out of 5 Amigas?
I gave that one a 3 out of 5 Amigas for sure.
Okay. Well, I think that was a good rating. I think I'm agreeing.
Oh yeah.
Because the next night we snuck over to Hutchinson's, which is in McKinney, and also has a satellite in Frisco. But I believe McKinney's the original location. Super long history here. They have a torpedo jalapeno thing. That's kind of one of these things that they do that's really, big in the community. Ryan, again, loaded up with the same 3. By the way, the fries at 1050, thin fries, pretty tasty though.
Pretty good.
Ryan loaded up on the same deal. I will say, I think Hutchins was the most expensive of all 3 restaurants.
They were. I didn't know how to order at Hutchinson. They were just like slicing stuff off and weighing it and handing it to you. Yeah. Where the other ones actually had more of a menu vibe. You could actually just pick a selection. And so Hutchinson, I ended up with 3 ribs instead of 2, and I ended up with more brisket there. I ended up with more of everything there than anywhere else, and it cost me more than anywhere else also.
I think even if you got the same 2 ribs, I bet you that was the most expensive.
I think so.
Any standout item on that menu?
They were just general all around great, with an exception of their French fries were probably the worst.
Ooh,
of the 3.
Boo, bad French fries. Boo.
But that's not why I'm going to barbecue. I'm going to barbecue for the barbecue. Their barbecue definitely got a 5 Amiga rating. They were the best from a barbecue.
Ooh, look at that. That is the five
Oh,
Amigas of five Amigas. So now we know going into the home stretch, we went to what would be considered a chain here in our area. And I don't mean a chain like Rudy's. And there's nothing wrong with Rudy's. It's I think Rudy's is everywhere. But Spring Creek Barbecue, one of my dad's favorite places to go. And by the way, I kind of, as we were wrapped, this was our last stop. And I went,
yes.
this is one of my dad's favorites. And as we were eating, I realized why, because it was probably one of the most inexpensive places we went. And I'm telling you, 4 out of 5 Amigas is really solid. What'd you think of their
Yes.
meal?
Oh, definitely. There's, I think, Hutchinson's was the barbecue was the best. Now, Spring Creek, uh, beforehand, you led me to believe that 1051 was going to be better than Spring Creek, and I
Yeah,
liked Spring Creek better.
I would, if you quizzed 4 out of 5 people, I think we would just say 1050 is going to be better because of appearance, location, the smoking pit before you go in. Whereas
Or,
Spring Creek has more of the lubies. You get in the line, you walk down the
yep,
line, you get your little bowl of, potato salad to go along with it. It has a little bit of a lesser decor and appearance and flashy. It's a little bit more old school.
definitely. I from if you're looking for an atmosphere relationship, 1050 is going to be better.
Yeah.
But from a food perspective, I
Yep.
like Spring Creek, and they were so much easier to order. They had what I wanted on the same,
Yep.
three things on the, pick three meats kind of thing, and they just did it for you.
Yep.
So there wasn't a, do you wonder what this is going to cost me as they're weighing it off and put a sticker on it. So yeah, it's it's the way. That was my great balance between good food and cost. That's would be my recommendation.
Was everything there pretty much on par? Was there a stellar jump out from that meal that you went, oh, they did this really good?
It was just overall goodness. I didn't really look at them as comparing one versus the other, like, oh, this was
Yeah.
doing a big food challenge. Not that good at that, but uh, I don't know. It was a good overall mix of stuff. I did like the ribs quite a bit too.
I really like their brisket better. I like their brisket better
Yeah,
than the other two. I was amazed. I went and started eating and I went, Ryan, I think this brisket's better than the other two for me. You know what I mean?
yes.
I like it lean too. And when I asked the guy lean, he really took to heart what I asked for.
Oh,
And
yeah.
man, it was super tasty. I was very impressed. But I love it. Okay. So that's a good rundown. If you're ever on the northeast portion of Dallas, you now know, get to Spring Creek, get to Hutchinson's, get to 1050. We'd already been to Heart 8 way in the past. We'd already been to Meet You Anywhere way in the past. Another time
Right.
Ryan was in town. So I tried to hit him with some new ones this time. And next time he's down, hopefully I'll find a few more to surprise him with, and we'll see how they rate on the Amiga rating.
And I'm always happy to run these back again because I'm good on barbecue. Bring it on.
Yeah, we got to do Soul Man's next time. Even Sarah was like, I thought that was on your list. I go, yeah, but it was a little off the beaten path. We were getting hangry. We were both at the point, like, I remember we were in the micro, because we bought shit at Micro Center. Of course we did, because that's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yep.
Ryan's like, you ought to see this desoldering tool. And I'm like, well, I think I might want one. And so we went and bought one. And we were both like in the line going, are you a little hangry? I think I just said, dude, I think I'm getting hangry. How are you? And you
Yeah.
were like, I'm right there with you. And Spring Creek was across the highway. And so we made it happen. But yes, we had a great food time. We also did Cinnaholics. Is that the name of the place? Holy Christ. I ate
Yes.
so many Cinnaholic muffins.
Yes, they were the random cinnamon buns with like blueberries and peanut butter and birthday cake flavored ones. And I just did a plain one. And I know you ran the birthday cake twice, and you did
Yeah.
like cookie dough things.
Yeah.
I got a Dole Whip from them. The orange vanilla swirled Dole Whip um, was really good. I tried two different Dole Whips. The first one, the machine had a little hiccup, and it didn't really work out. And that one was like, okay, the machine didn't work. Fine, whatever. They made it right. It was all good.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then the
Great
second
staff.
one, oh yeah, they were wonderful.
You could almost tell they were a little afraid we were going to go Karen, because she was
Yeah,
going to tell you the news, and they don't know they have like the two laid back people in the world that are just like, whatever, bro, it's broke. What are we going to do? Get mad?
right.
Can't solve it by being mad.
Don't work. There was like a little bit, like a sampler cup came out of it, and then the machine just quit working. So she just gave me that, and I was like, it's all right. Then we went to the other location because of just where we were. The orange and vanilla flavored swirl thing, it tasted like a dreamsicle. It was really good. So highly recommend that.
What makes them really awesome? I'm going to let you fill everybody in about what makes Cinnaholic incredibly awesome.
For me,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Me, I cannot have any dairy products, and none of their stuff has dairy in it.
That's amazing.
And it's amazingly tasting. And
It is. I would say it's even not as I'm going to use the word heavy. I'm going to say it's not as heavy as like going to Cinnabon. I get 5 Amigas of 5 Amigas is all I can say.
nice, love it, love it. We hit that thing like 3 nights, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that brings us to a close to our latest adventures and our latest retro fun and things along those
Yeah.
lines. I kind of know what's coming next because, we have all this scripted and we're all reading the words from a script. Ryan, what's kind of coming up next?
It's battle time.
Yes!
Warrior versus warrior.
Core Wars.
Get some.
We are definitely going to do a video supplement to that. We record all this too, but we will definitely figure out a way for everybody to see what we're doing with Core Wars. As we do our review, we can talk about it. Or do we want to record while we're playing?
I think we're probably gonna do it in our podcast, or we're just gonna be some stuff on the podcast. I don't think it's gonna make sense because you're not gonna be able to see it. So that's where that supplement is gonna come in. But we're gonna talk about what's going on. We're gonna let the arena do its thing with our robots and our warriors, and we're just gonna talk about how we handled it. I know you have 3 warriors ready to go. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I got some surprises in there too.
Nice. I currently still only have 1, and I'll see if I can come up with at least a second one before we record that episode.
Dear listener, if Ryan just saved some of his offshoots, he'd probably have 10 warriors. Because he's building one, tweaking, doing another one, tweaking, and he's really only trying to make one. And in reality, I bet you have a lot more warriors if you kept some of your offshoots. But I just went for some different styles, and I got some sneaky things that I'm going to show you too.
Oh, perfect. I want to see it.
Oh, I got some surprises.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, that wraps me up. Anything else, sir?
Thank you. Thank you for coming along on our journeys, and look forward to talking to you all soon.
Thanks. Bye now.